Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? So I wanted to make this live. There's a couple things that I just want to not only get off my chest, but also kind of give the reality that a lot of people know, but just to kind of put in a video. It's been a while since I've been live. If the video is choppy, I'm not connected to an Ethernet outlet. I am actually connected to a Wi-Fi system because I'm on my portable setup. So I'm studying hard, transitioning back into medical school from the research at Mayo Clinic that I did for a year, and so it's been a little bit kind of hectic. So sorry for the absence on YouTube here, but we need to talk about some things, guys. Okay, so hopefully some people can tune in and watch this video on replay. Um, it's easier for me to do a live because I don't have to do the editing and I can just give you guys the information. So uh, I hope you guys can hear me. Everything's good. Please let me know if you can't. So, you know, I've been in the market for quite some time, and I've been looking at. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Muhammad? How you doing? Nader, assalamu alaikum, habibi. How are you doing? Doing not too bad. Just studying hard, working hard, trying to transition back. My goal is to become a physician, to become a surgeon. Um, but I've realized. So let's give you guys a backstory here. I went into healthcare to help the poor, right? Not just the poor, every patient, but to give more emphasis on helping the poor. Okay. And why? Well, because I grew up poor and I saw that the healthcare system wasn't equal. Now, how could I see it if I was poor? Well, I went to college and I saw that, we talk about translational medicine. I'm at this amazing institution. They talk about all these cures they're working on, all this research, and it looks like a utopia, man. It's the grass is cut clean, flowers are everywhere. They got gardeners cleaning up everything. And anywho, I go to the Department of Economic Security, and I just see the other side of United States, and literally the haves and have-nots. But the beautiful part is college was a middle ground, an opportunity for you to get to that other side, right? But what is on that other side? And that's it. I guess I have the unique luxury of knowing that. I'm in a very unique position where I was able to go from poor to rich, and that's quite of a journey. But I'll tell you, the short answer is the stock market rigged. The answer is yes, right? And it's rigged in such a way that it's just you have to. The way to analyze it and the way to understand it is you got to look at every stock market crash in the history of the United States. You got to go back. You got to go back and study the past. Now, the one that's still fresh in a lot of people's minds is the 2008 recession, right? And for people that don't know what happened with that, a great podcast to listen to is the Joe Rogan Experience, the Joe Rogan podcast, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do a video on, and we'll analyze it. But a lot of these economists, a lot of these institutions, these universities, these professors, the president, United States, they try to explain what happened in the mortgage crisis in 2008 as an economic perspective, when in reality, you have to look at it as a criminal perspective. This is a straight up criminal activity. Okay. Now, this has been going on in the stock market in any other asset class for as long as capitalism was what was created. So, in this video, I'm going to be showing you a quick video right here. Let me add it, of Jim Cramer back in 2006. Okay. This is 2006, guys. I mean, when was the iPhone invented? The technology back then was very, it was in its infancy stage, right? And he talks about pure market manipulation that some of you who trade stocks have recognized the pattern. I mean, we're not stupid. I mean, you look at a chart for quite some time, you see patterns. And I'm glad that the retail community is starting to see patterns of manipulation. And yes, it doesn't take a lot of money to send a stock down. It also doesn't take a lot of money to send a stock up. Now, for a lot of people that for the Clover Health community, by the way, I'm in a different part of AZ right now, so the background you might hear that. My apologies. It's a couple of good movies to watch that explain this really well. To explain you the ugly truth about Wall Street is a movie called Margin Call, right? Look up Margin Call. It's actually on Netflix. Tonight, go ahead and watch it, or whenever you're free, pop it on. And I was just thinking of watching it with my Discord members. I think we could do that, kind of have a reaction video to it. But I would just enjoy it, enjoy the classic piece. And well, I mean, listen, guys, Wall Street is dirty. Okay, whether we like it, they run the country. Okay, this runs the country. It's looking at Republican versus Democrat, this two-party system. It's not as easy as one wants free speech and wants to protect the values of America, and the other wants to just help the poor and all. You know, it's not that simple, guys. This is a very complicated, convoluted, capitalistic system that is controlled by Wall Street. And you guys have to understand that in order to win in the market, sometimes you have to think long term. Now, I know a lot of people don't have access to material that gives them the algo trading that we have. I paid a lot of money to get this data. And a lot of people in our Discord group, and I know you're starting to understand, guys that are in our Discord group that are going to be watching this video, you have seen the luxury of having data. This data makes you rich. Now then, this is, and you guys are trading short-term call and puts, and you see how much money you're making? However, for people that can't afford the data, there is a way out of this manipulation. And you gotta look at the fundamentals. So just a quick recap, the 2008 financial crisis, I call it, was a criminal activity. You had loan officers taking a mortgage, a subprime mortgage that wasn't fixed, and it promised people of low monthly payments, when in reality, after a couple of years, the payments went from $500 to $7,000 a month. Obviously, individuals couldn't pay that, so they went ahead and defaulted. But this was a simple game of hot and potato, okay? The loan officers that pretty much basically got all the loans, sold those loans and passed it on to an investment bank, which then compiled all those loans, fractionalized them, and basically sent them off for shares for investors to come in and purchase, okay? Now, what this all caused then was a double down leverage system where an insurance company said, if these loans do default, we will pay you out because of the AAA rating systems that were classified on the bonds as low risk. Well, the whole system crashed. Garbage in, garbage out. And ultimately, a lot of people came out wealthy. The people that crashed the system were given bailouts, and they came off with a wealthy sum of money. However, the American taxpayer, it's true, ended up paying the forefront, and other countries from around the world suffered. However, there are two evils to this. If we would have let the capitalism run itself, the consequences would be very bad. A lot of poor would have been even poorer. So ultimately, the giving of the loans to the banks and all that, giving them all this money and bonuses, was actually profitable to the American people because they paid interest on that. Okay? But yet again, it's still manipulated. The biggest problem that I have is that loan officers ended up going into areas where of low, unfortunately, income Black communities, and they essentially said, hey, we can decrease your mortgage right now, right here, by a couple $100. They had their home. They had a fixed mortgage, guys, a fixed mortgage. They were making their monthly payments. They were living the American dream. But then these people manipulated them, saying, hey, we can decrease it by $200, $400. Just sign this. And they go ahead and sign it. They don't understand. They just converted their loan into a subprime. And then a couple years later, it turned into, went from $800 to $7,000 a month. They lost their home. And then they went to that same loan officer, but that loan officer took that loan and sold it to the investment bank, Lehman Brothers and all that. But the biggest area that I want to focus on here, guys, is that Lehman Brothers, everyone blamed that CEO. He was part of the game, and he was an evil, son of a bee, right? But you have to understand that the people around him were also playing the game. It just so happened that he got stuck holding the bag, right? I know that comment that you guys say, a lot of stock people say on Reddit or Webull, and please sign up in the link below to get your 5 free stocks valued up to $9,600. It's fucking free. Excuse my language. It's free. Please get it. I see a little honking horn in the back. I'm in a very beautiful Mexican community here, so I really love. We have a nonprofit that I run where we distribute 30 million pounds of fresh produce. I'll show you guys pictures. It's really beautiful. But anywho, the Lehman Brothers just got caught holding the bag. That's all it was, and they got hit. But that's why I like the movie Margin Call, because it shows you that this investment firm, little spoiler here, investment firm, saw that the risk levels were really bad, so they started dumping these millions of dollars, even at some losses. They started dumping millions of dollars in these mortgage-backed securities. They were dumping them, and then all these other institutions were buying them. They're like, oh my God, I'm so going to buy them. And what ended up happening was they were able to survive this whatever firm, and they dropped the bag, and then people like Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns got caught holding it, right? Bear Stearns got bought out by, I believe, JP Morgan Chase or Bank of America. One of them, correct me if I'm wrong. And then Lehman Brothers was just left to rot, okay? So let's go ahead and read the comment really here quickly. Exactly. And I'm not surprised. And you are going to hear it from the horse's mouth. Jim Cramer, which a lot of people listen to, which I don't know why, he is an echo chamber of the hedge funds. Jim Cramer is someone that I look at as just as Saturday Night Live. Even then, I take Saturday Night Live more seriously than I take Jim Cramer. Okay? He's just, you know what I mean? Is he good at making money? Hell yeah, but not for you. Not for the retail community. Of course not. You got to think about it this way. Why do people hate Cathie Woods? She discloses her trades at the end of every single day. She doesn't have to. She intentionally does this for full transparency. Okay? She's essentially democratizing financial information. So let's say you can't afford her ARK fund. Well, you know what's in it. So you can go ahead and buy those individual stocks if they're, a little cheaper, right? So let's go ahead and read this here. But they gave the banks that money without any promise of that they would refinance people in their homes. Instead, they froze credit on small businesses and invested in stocks of other banks. Absolutely. They're criminal activity, but they're too big to fail. Jim Cramer says this. He says, a lot of the people at the SEC, they don't know this. They don't know this information, right? So we could do whatever we want, pretty much, right? So just to cut the video short, I'm not going to cut the video short right now, but I'm just saying, just within the 15-minute mark, the best way. So I'm going to show you. Jim Cramer just pretty much says it. He spills the beans here back in 2006. Imagine how much they know now. Imagine how much manipulation after the financial crisis of 2008. What are they doing now that we don't know about? We're starting to pick up on things, right? But if you're asking yourself, how can I make money in America? How can I make money in a rigged stock market, in a rigged society where over 90% of the wealth is tied up in the rich? How can I make money? How can I have a piece of the American dream? Okay, let's read this other one here. Cramer is a hedge fund show. Absolutely. I would bet if you invested opposite of what Cramer pushes on Mad Money, you would be better off. And people do that, sadly. People do that, and they walk out with a hefty profit. He said, don't buy Peloton during the pandemic push, and Peloton spiked. And then he said, buy Peloton, and it crashed. He does these opposite things. He said, buy Palantir at $29, $30, but obviously don't buy right now at 11 or 12. I mean, it's very clear who he's servicing here. He's not servicing retail. Now, a more clear example of this. Now check this out. And now I think people are starting to wake up, but knowing our media, we tend to recycle really quickly and people just have amnesia. Well, a lot of you know about Elon Musk trying to buy Twitter at $54.20. Now, in our intrinsic value calculation on our Discord channel back in February, I said, hey, this is worth $54. And guess what? Elon Musk did the, DCF, and yeah, he gave him that's a fair value. That's my price target. That's when I hit the sell, right? Now, what's interesting here is they initiated a poison pill. Now, just a brief summary on, maybe you've heard this. What a poison pill is it buys the company that is being hunted down by a buyer time. So let's say, for example, I wanted to buy Clover Health. It's cheap right now. I want to buy it completely. I'm like, dude, you're only worth $1 billion. I want to give you 1.8 billion and call it a day, right? Done. You're mine, right? What they can do is they can say, hey, we can put you on the board, but you can have a maximum of 15% ownership, and that's it. That's what they try to do. Elon Musk said, no, you're all incompetent. So he kept his 9.2% shares and he filed in the SEC and he said, hey, I want to buy the whole company. Here's a premium. I want to buy it. Okay? They don't like that. So what they did now is, as soon as Elon Musk hits above 15%, it triggers an automatic poison pill to where everyone that's a shareholder except the person who bought 15%, which is Elon, would get another share, like a share at a cheaper price, as many as they, essentially, right? And what they're doing is they're diluting the shareholder, like they're diluting the stock, and shareholders take a hit at approximately 10 to 15%, but Elon would take a 50% hit, and it just, continue poison pill after poison pill after poison pill until the other one it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, and hopefully it fends them off. Now, this weakens Twitter because, well, it causes a white knight, and if people don't know what a white knight is another company saying, I want to buy this. Now, David Sachs, whom, I really look up to, people, say, oh, this guy's a straight up conservative, but the guy makes sense. I'm an independent. I like to listen to both sides and have a conversation. He just makes sense, right? So Honestly, I think that there is some form of blockage of free speech. Okay. The media, and I said this in my first video I've uploaded on YouTube, the media wants you to think in a certain way. Billionaires buy media stations and they essentially feed the population a certain narrative. Okay. I've been reading stupid tweets and comments about how Elon just wants attention. Elon hasn't done anything significant for society. Like all these stupid things. And I'm just like, it's crazy how much the media has a grip on society. I mean, imagine the election manipulation. We're talking about Russia's election manipulation. Imagine the manipulation of elections that the media has on society, feeding them a false narrative. Now, Elon Musk wants to do free speech to a certain point and wants to show an open source algorithm, right? So that people, if they do get blocked from Twitter, they see how they were blocked. It's not some mysterious question mark person trying to push an agenda. And you can see right now the pullback that the media is attacking Elon. There are some people that are comparing Elon to Trump, trying to put him by association and poison his reputation. But I believe the public can see right through it. Now, why am I talking about Elon and free speech? Well, Goldman Sachs went ahead and they said that, I'm sorry, Elon, your $54.20 is cheap. It's obviously undervaluing the Twitter intrinsic value. Well, if you look at and I love Elon because, Elon's an entrepreneur. He's not just an engineer or physicist. He does intrinsic value calculations how we do them here, which is why he got the $54, right? I'll tell you right now, very simply. He put a PDF, a screenshot of Goldman Sachs' current price target of Twitter. And it wasn't $54. It wasn't $70. It wasn't $80. It was $30, and they initiated a sell. So all of a sudden, Elon Musk said, I want to take Twitter private. I'll give you $54. Be on your way. Goldman Sachs says that's too cheap, but they currently have a sell rating for 30 freaking dollars. So you got to ask yourself, the Lord has given you a mind to think. Use your mind. Why would Goldman Sachs, a leading institution, most respected, takes the most smartest of analysts, CFAs, and all these other ones, right? CMTs for the technical chart ratings. Yes, we're not talking about YouTubers looking at technical charts. We're talking about real, technical analysis readers from CMTs, okay? You're telling me that they believe that Twitter is worth more, but they have a sell rating for 30. Who is that sell rating for? It's for you. It's for retail. Why? Because they know retail is weak. They know that because the educational crux of the United States educational system is wobbly. It can't even stand on two front. It can't even stand. I can go and have a debate with someone, and this is going to sound super obnoxious, but I have to say it. I can just blow them and every knowledge that they ever had will just tumble like that. That's the sad part about our educational system. Our minds are weak, and retail, and this is why I've created this platform, to democratize financial information, to strengthen your frontal lobes so you can see the manipulation that these institutions do. They say that Elon's $54, and yes, 420. There's a 420 in there, right? So my birthday's April 19th. So Elon's $54. Let's call it $54, right? And 20 cents. That's overvalued, but they have a sell rating for $30, and they think so. they think the $54 is undervalued and they have a sell rating. So it shows you this is big manipulation. And David Sachs points out a very important thing. If Elon Musk is allowed to buy Twitter, we have a fair market, fair society. We're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists and we need to shut up and go back in our caves, right? I'll quit YouTube and I'll go back to being just medicine and we'll just call it a day, right? Guys, listen. There's going to be so much political pushback now. You have politicians are going to fight this in every corner because Twitter has become a way to essentially puppify, if that's a word, the American people and beyond. Okay? Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. If you don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I have to say something because, you can't just trade stocks and not know this. You need to, we're going to get to that right now. What do you think about DWAC now with all this stuff? And that's the thing in the back of my head. That's the thing that I'm looking at right now. It could either go both ways. And he put this in his SEC filings. He said, listen, if you don't give me Twitter, I'm going to drop your shares. And he might even, this is all speculating here. Imagine if Elon Musk goes to Truth Social, Donald Trump's media. Holy moly. If Elon's 80 freaking million followers, 80 million guys here, goes to Truth Social, DWAC, wow. That's going to cripple Twitter, right? So that, and or he might even team up with his other partners and build his own media page. But I just don't see Elon doing that. I think Elon, honestly, it's in his best incentive. You have to, and you might be asking me like, why DWAC and Elon? Well, listen, okay. Elon Musk was the co-founder of PayPal. Who else was the co-founder of PayPal? Peter Thiel. Now, you may have heard his name. This guy likes to sit on the sidelines. And the reason why is because of this elitist and populist movement that has happened. After 2008, the populist movement, which is for people that are first generation like myself, a populist movement is essentially where people believe that, there's all these political movements and directions don't really affect. It's there to serve the elitists. If you were to ask Peter Thiel that, of course, that's true, right? But they are the ones creating the most value. But then that's questionable because the workers are too. And there's just a battle between the haves and have-nots. The real answer is we need to work together as a society, but no one wants to do that. But Peter Thiel is a shark on Silicon. He's the shark of Silicon Valley. He is a prominent supporter of Donald Trump, gave him millions of dollars. He's actually supporting a candidate that I support, Blake Masters, who's from Tucson, the same city I'm in, right? The same city that granted me 40 under 40 most influential, God bless their hearts, for the work that we do in helping the homeless population and beyond. He's running for Senate, and he's backed up by Peter Thiel. And a lot of people use that as a negative. I think it's a positive. If you can bring the haves and have-nots of society, more power to you. That's how we should do it. That's how America became the greatest country in the world. Well, the thing is, Peter Thiel is good friends with Elon. They co-founded PayPal together. They worked together. And we know that Peter Thiel supports Trump, so it won't be out of the question that maybe Elon might jump into Trump's Truth Social, and he could say, hey, if people start attacking Elon for being a Trump supporter, they can say, hey, Elon can say, hey, I tried to support Twitter. I tried, and I saw no hope. Twitter, unfortunately, is not going to go anywhere. And then he moves on to DWAC. Who knows? He might even delete his account. And imagine, that's going to be hard for him because he has Tesla and all these other businesses. So we'll see. There's a pro and con to this, right? But the man values free speech, so we'll see. Okay. I won't buy Twitter. Very volatile. It'll be crazy to watch. Elon has 38 million followers. He has to sway with his. Yeah. So it's gonna be tough right now if he does pull out, and that's why it hasn't ascended to its 54 offer share price, which means that a lot of people are doubting it, and this could drop. This could drop back to in the mid 30s, right? 35. You know. I think we all agree. We see the bullshit. Question is how it to beat them to the punch exactly. And yes, I will. Yes. So to answer that right now, I need some water. Sorry, I had like a tres leches cake in my throat. It's a little too much condensed milk. Okay, so the best way to win is use math. That's the best way. Fundamental analysis. The beautiful part about these hedge funds and a lot of these CMTs is that they don't know squat about fundies. They don't know nothing about fundamental analysis. Haven't you seen, if you go on YouTube, who is doing intrinsic value calculations? Who is looking at the intrinsic value of stocks and putting in the numbers? And no one. No one. And it behooves me. I wish people learned this damn trick. But it's a Warren Buffett style approach, Benjamin Graham type of investing. Okay, so that's how you win. And I have two stories. One we're going to see in the Jim Cramer. The second one is I was at and that's why I tell you I came from the bottom. So for me, it's so hard. Like right now, I'm more comfortable in my Mexican community here than I am at the most expensive area in Arizona, right? You know, the Arcadia, Paradise Valley. People are so fake there. And I hate to put a place down, but there's just this fog of money making you better than someone who is less fortunate. And to me, that never makes sense. I just, you know, it doesn't make sense. But I have to tell you, I was at a very nice area, and I had my computers open, and I was studying medical, right, for my medical, and a CMT came, a retired one. He said he was on the floor when Reagan got shot, or and he was telling me the tricks of Wall Street. And his attitude was very like, oh, these retail, they got swept away as they should have, trying to mess with the big boys. He's obviously wealthy. He's in a very nice area. The guy's wealthy as hell, in his 60s, but it shows you the mentality of these people. It shows you the thinking, right? And it's just so sad. You know, it's so sad. You know, I told him about my software, the brain machine and all these things. And I told him about how we're trying to democratize financial information. And he said, and if you guys don't believe me, I'll bring my future wife over, Michelle. I'll you know, she saw it herself. She's like, I'm like, I told you. He said, why do you even bother with these people? Keep the information for yourself, profit off it. Why do you even bother? Right? And that rubbed me so wrong. I obviously kept my composure, right? But what does that tell you guys? What if this is an old man, he's seeing the eyes of death within the next 20, 30 years. And usually when you get closer to that, you become more humble, you're more wise, you get closer to your creator. Well, that's how I'm going to be like, right? And it's just to have that mentality. It shows you the greed, right? And it shows you that if you lose all your money, no one will be there for you to pick you up, right? No one. How do I know that? I've been there. Okay? Right? I've seen that. So protect yourself. And I'm going to show you in this video. I keep saying I'm going to show you, but it's just, this video is so, 2006. These hedge funds manipulate news. They manipulate the news, and they give these news articles to essentially cause the stock price to go down, because they're trying to fix the side hustle of an investing that they're trying to sell out in here to put in here and to get in there. And then once that's done, then they're like, okay, we'll go ahead and it's time for Clover to go up, and all these other stocks can just shut up for a sec. We'll put some negative release articles. Haven't you realized the news articles for Clover is starting to get better? Haven't you seen the change in narrative? What has the company hasn't changed. It's been growing, right? Let's go to the questions here, and then we'll switch to the video. Never been so easy to get stuck in an echo chamber. Think why would Seeking Alpha put a price target of SoFi of 3 with only 10% profit loss from student loans? Yeah, I haven't even read that. I've been in the medical right now, because that's my passion, right? That's why I wake up in the morning, right? I want to help patients directly, and then hopefully whatever this I create here on YouTube and the Discord and the software the app we're gonna create is gonna help people before they become patients. But that's terrible. Okay, how come Musk is attacked for trying to buy Twitter, but Bezos is celebrated for buying Washington Times? Because that's a billionaire they align themselves with, right? That's a billionaire that listens, that controls the Amazon Web Services that shut down Parler, whatever that, right? You know what you guys know, right? The conservative, right? He follows the line, right? You can see the manipulation. No, but yeah, from the comment from before, they hate us, bro. And here's the issue with this: they want to take your money. After the 2000 crash, where the tech bubble collapsed, everyone put their money into real estate. So what do? They devised a scheme. They literally devised a freaking scheme, and they said, let's go after their houses. Let's make these subprime mortgages, make these loans, and make this system and play hot potato until it crashes the economy, because the Lord knows the government doesn't know what we're doing. And then by then, the government will do is what the government will do always: print money and pretty much drop interest rates at 0, and we won't get stuck holding the bag. We'll have all the cash. And then everyone will get bankrupt. Assets will drop. We'll buy them back up. Wait till they'll overextend to their intrinsic value and sell them off. And then the cycle rinses and repeats. That is history for you. Can you send it, people? Exactly. And that's where I'm at my most comfortable, because I understand that I go to different areas of the same, let's say, franchise, and you can see there's a lot of imitation going on. And even the people that are making below the average, that work in these types of areas, they have to imitate this behavior in order to fit in. But this only perpetuates the cycle of whatever this fakeness is that is in these societies that, let's say, for example, like the Scottsdale-like area. I like it because the grass is cut clean and all these, and I kind of wish everywhere had that beauty. But it's just a reality that people are self-constructing, and then it crashes, and then they get depression and all these things, and it's. I'm happy here. I'm happy with my Mexican community here. I love this community. I freaking love them here, which is why we put the food program here, and we have kids helping. And hopefully, once they get older, I can write them a letter of recommendation to go to the best colleges in the country. So hopefully, we can do all that. Staying close to you. No, absolutely. And you can't forget. We made this YouTube channel to help the poor, to not just everybody. You don't have to be poor, but we want to help. We want to help the people and people that are wealthy that are watching this. If I in comparison to Wall Street wealthy, it's a whole different level. These people are, I'm telling you, the corruption in this. The best movies you got to watch is the Wall Street, Margin Call, Big Short, all these little things, movies. They give you an idea. They give you an idea. I spent my whole life trying to understand this Wall Street because I needed to understand why the political system is so convoluted, and it all comes down in New York, in Wall Street. It just all comes in that area, and then it connects to different hubs. Israel's tech centers and their Silicon Valley, California Silicon Valley, all of these things. And you just start seeing the manipulation, and it's very disgusting. And we need to have a decentralized way of learning to allow the people of our country and the world to know the truth, which is obviously being restricted. And you can see that with the whole Elon and Twitter. But buy when beaten down, hold as long as it takes to find the intrinsic value, and then pass your bags to the, sadly, other retail. Be humble for you to gain, otherwise have to lose and be left with the bags. And that's what happens. When we tell you, once Clover gets up to its value and all the other stocks that have gone up to its values on our price targets, we sold it. And guess who picked it up? Retail, right? So how to win how to win in this game by following BlackRock and well, the thing is, even BlackRock and Vanguard is convoluted because they have to buy asset classes because they're forced into their ETFs. That's one way. There are so many ways of looking at other 13F filings, looking at what the senators are buying, so many things. So I'm going to switch to this video, and then we're going to go back to the questions. We're going to watch this together. Please let me know if you can hear it.
Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. I'm Aaron Task, joined again by Jim Cramer. Jim, welcome.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. There's a lot of economic data out today, but I want to talk about something else first. Again, today we have the misdirection from the futures. The futures pointing to an up market, and as of right now, stocks are down again. Is this just because it's the holiday period that we're seeing this?
You know, a lot of times when I was short at my hedge fund and I was positioned short, meaning I needed it down, I would create a level of activity beforehand that could drive the futures. It doesn't take much money. Similarly, if I were long and I would want to make things a little bit rosy, I would go in and take a bunch of stocks and make sure that they're higher, and maybe commit 5 million in capital to do it, and I could affect it.
I'm going to repeat that just in case people have just tuned in, because that's important. You got to listen to what he said.
At my hedge fund and I was positioned short, meaning I needed it down, I would create a level of activity beforehand that could drive the futures. It doesn't take much money. Similarly, if I were long and I would want to make things a little bit rosy, I would go in and take a bunch of stocks and make sure that they're higher, and maybe commit 5 million in capital to do it, and I could affect it. What you're seeing now is it probably is bigger market now. Maybe you need 10 million in capital to knock this stuff down, but it's a fun game and it's a lucrative game, and you can move it up and then fade it. That's often creates a very negative feel. So let's say you take a longer term view intraday and you say, listen, I'm going to boost the futures, and then when the real sellers come in, real market comes in, they're going to knock it down. It's going to create a negative view. That's a strategy very worth doing when you're valued on a day-to-day basis. And I would encourage anyone who's in the hedge fund game to do it because it's legal,
right?
And
So essentially, it doesn't take a lot of money to drive a stock down, and it doesn't take a lot of money to give a rosy picture to increase the stock. And he encourages hedge funds to go ahead and do this manipulation because it's legal. Oh, okay, it's legal, right? So if it was legal to go ahead and commit if slavery was still, if slavery wasn't banned, I know I'm taking this to a full out of context here, but it's legal, it's okay, let's do it. There are just some people in our society, they're just built, their brains are built in such a way that there is no moral, ethical code with inside of them to where they say, you know what, this is wrong, and I'm gonna walk away. I know there's a big pot of cash there. I can be offered $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 an hour by doing this because of my talents. I'm gonna walk away from that because my moral ethical code is this is wrong. No, they're like, hell yeah, of course, right? But it shows you the level of thinking. Oh, it's legal, let's do it, right? It just cares to show you if there weren't any laws in place. Imagine all of the corruption that would happen. I know the slavery comment was out there, but it shows you the time. Slavery at one point was legal in the United States, and people didn't bat an eye. They said, "Okay, it's legal, it's fine." Right? Where was because they saved money and all? There was no moral ethical code. Okay, and it shows you it shows you how disgusting Wall Street can be, and just mind you, when they do drop those stocks, who's selling? Retail. Like, oh shoot, I got to get out. Right? Something's happening. Right? All right. Go ahead. And then they lose money. If each one gives a dollar, let's say if, every citizen that's invested in the market or whatever the world, they lose $10 there, 15, 20, they lose more. Imagine the profits.
It is a very quick way to make money and very satisfying.
Okay.
Well, by the way, no one else in the world would ever admit that, but I can care.
That's right. And you can say that here.
I can't. I'm not going to say it on TV.
No one's going to say that, right? And then he said, I'm not going to say it on TV. You see that guy? He's not going to say it on that Mad Money show.
Well, on a related note, there's so many more hedge funds today than when you were managing your hedge fund.
Right.
Do you think that does that exacerbate the moves, or does it make it
tougher?
Well,
the hedge funds are positioned long short, okay, not just long like mutual funds. So it's really vital these next 6 days because of your payday. You've really got to control the market. You can't let it lift. When you get a research in motion, it's really important to use a lot of your firepower to knock that down because it's the fulcrum of the market today.
See, you really got to get paid. You can't let that market go up, right? Think of Clover while you're doing all this. You have a company growing over 100% year over year. They're about to achieve profitability next year. That's what the CEO is saying. I think it's 2024. Just think for yourself.
So let's say I were short. What I would do is I would hit a lot of guys with RIM. Now you can't foment. That's a violation of
foment.
Yeah, you can't foment. You can't create yourself.
You can't do that, right? Because it's illegal. But watch what he says.
An impression that a stock's down, but you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't understand it. So that's the only sense.
Yeah, but you do it anyway because you're not going to get caught for it because the SEC doesn't understand. How is this guy holding a straight face here? Would you see this?
That I would say this is illegal, but a hedge fund that's not up a lot really has to do a lot now to save itself. So this is different from what I was talking about at the beginning where I would be buying the Qs and stuff.
Right.
This is actually just blatantly illegal. But when you have 6 days and your company may be in doubt because you're down, I think it's really important to foment. If I were one of these guys, foment an impression that research in motion isn't any good because research in motion is the key today. So you would hit this guy and that guy, and when you would see an offering, when you see a guy who's bidding, you'd wipe out that guy very quickly. And what I used to do was called, if I wanted to go higher, I would take and bid. And if I wanted to go lower, I'd hit an offer. And I could get a stock like RIM for maybe, that might cost me 15, 20 million. Annie to knock RIM down, but it would be fabulous because it would beleaguer all the moron longs who are also keying on research in motion. So we're seeing today. We're seeing that. That's again, when your company's in a survival mode, it's really important to defeat research in motion and get the Pisanis of the world and the people talking about it as if there's something wrong with RIM. Then you would call the journal and you get the bozo reporter on research in motion and you would feed that there's a Palm's got a killer it's going to give away.
Then you call the news station to feed them garbage so they can go ahead and spread it. Yeah, the news station that essentially controls the people, essentially gives them this fake information, and they take this fake information, and that's their knowledge, and then they get manipulated to do a certain thing, right? It all starts at Wall Street, guys, where all the money is. They control they control the way the country moves. They control the White House. They control it all, right? Just look at Nancy Pelosi. We want to cancel insider trading. No, right? Why is it that insiders, they have to wait 3 months in order to report that they bought a stock? If I was in Congress, I would make a law that I would say you would have to report the same day, and every other day that you wait, you would lose $10,000, and that $10,000 will be put back in our educational system or be given to veterans or X, Y, and Z, right? Oh yeah, then they'll start reporting, right? Anywho.
These are all the things you must do on a day like today. And if you're not doing it, maybe you shouldn't be in the game.
Okay. Another stock that a lot of people are focused on right now seems to be Apple.
Yeah, Apple's very important to spread the rumor that that both Verizon and AT&T have decided they don't like the phone.
Right.
That's a very easy one to do because it's also, you want to spread the rumor that it's not going to be ready for Macworld. And this is very easy because the people who write about Apple want that story. And you can claim that it's credible because you spoke to someone at Apple, because Apple isn't in a, doesn't.
Right, they're not going to comment. They're not going to say.
So it's really an ideal short. And I would, again, if I.
Right, because Apple's not going to comment. And even if they did comment, right, I mean, like, just like with the whole Hindenburg, right? Even though their Mullen report, I haven't looked at it, but I do agree Mullen is definitely, the fundamentals are just not there. They're not making any money. But you can see the manipulation. Oh, Apple's not going to comment. Easy short. Let's play it out. Let's play it for them. Right? So think about it.
If I were short Apple, I would be working very hard today to get that. And the way you would do that is you pick up the phone and you call 6 trading desk and you say, listen, I just got off the phone with my contact at Verizon. And he has already said, listen, we're a Lucky G house. We're a Samsung house. We're a Motorola house. There's no room for Apple. They want too much. We're not going to let them in. We're not going to let them do what they did to music. And, I think that's a very effective way to keep a stock down.
Right.
I might also, by the way, because the stock at 84, 85, a little bit of capital, you go buy some January 80 puts that makes it look like there's going to be something going on. So maybe you give Morgan an order to buy 1,000 Jan 80 puts. Then you go position limit with, you use a hat firm that doesn't know what the heck it's doing.
You see that? Go ahead, buy some long puts. So people are like, oh no, something's gonna go on and all these things, which is why a lot of people in our Discord, for all the people that are using the call and puts and the bullseye, you can kind of see now that you can look at before a stock can go up and down, because it follows these types of movements and it takes that data and tells you when to buy and sell and all those things. And it's because these tactics that he's talking about, and there's other tactics that they're using now too. And I'll tell you, but once I learn them, you guys will be the first people to know. Let's continue.
So maybe you go to UBS for puts, and you just kind of create an image that there's going to be news next week, and that's going to frighten everybody. Right. Then they all go out and say large put buyer UBS. And then they call Pisani again. You have to use those guys and say, listen, I see a big buyer of puts, and I'm told that it's SAC. You would do that too. And these are all what's really going on under the market that you don't see.
Right. Nobody else talks about it.
But what's important when you're in that hedge fund mode is to not do anything remotely truthful, because the truth is so against your view,
right,
that it's important to create a new truth to develop.
Essentially, hedge funds, okay, which we just basically said, they have a strong grip on the American political system. The sole purpose of that is your goal is to say do anything but the truth, because the truth is against you, aka it won't make you money. So you have to create a false reality, a false BS reality. And you can see Elon trying to crack that reality, right? He can send over a couple of his engineers that are top of the line for his AI Tesla software for the driving, and they would fix Twitter just like that, right? And but they don't. It shows you how it's deeply corrupted. Okay, let me go back.
Develop a fiction, and the fiction is developed by almost anybody who's down like 2% to up 6% here. You can't take any chances. You can't have the market up any more than it is if you're up 6, because starting Jan 2, you'll have all your money come out. So what would you do if you're in that situation and you feel like you're desperate? Is that you would do these actions?
So you're talking about the mechanics of the market.
Well, the mechanics are much more important than the fundamentals.
Oh, okay, well, but in terms of the fundamentals, you've been writing about how you think
about the fundamentals. Research in motion just blew out the court.
Right.
But look what people can do. I mean, that's fabulous.
So yeah, so who cares? Who cares about the fundamentals, right? And because they know that retail doesn't care about the fundamentals. So my honest opinion is that the best way to avoid the a-holes that do this, and again, they're making money. To them, it's they're making money and that's it. I mean, they can sleep at night, and I guess that's all that matters to them. To kind of avoid this, because this will not be changed. We can't change this. Maybe if we have more power, if we hold politicians accountable, maybe if we elect people that know this information to get on there and can't be swayed by money, then maybe we might change. But to avoid this altogether, you guys need to know fundamentals. You guys need to understand fundamental analysis, grip it literally by the neck, and it sounds so violent. Just just got to grip the concept, just grip it, and just learn it, and then you'll be a champion. You won't care about whether a stock is up or down, because within its intrinsic value that it is definitely much higher than what the market is trading at, or what it's been manipulated at. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going.
Fabulous thing. The great thing about the market is it has nothing to do with the actual stocks.
Right.
Now, look, over maybe 2 weeks from now, the buyers will come to their senses and realize that everything that they heard was a lie. But then again, Fannie Mae lied about their earnings for $6 billion. So,
right, and Bristol Myers lied.
It's just fiction and fiction and fiction. And I think it's important for people to recognize that the way that the market really works is to have that nexus of hit the brokerage houses with a series of orders that can push it down, then leak it to the press, and then get it on CNBC. That's also very important.
Yeah, get it on CNBC, because that's important. Guys, he is on CNBC. He has his own show. It's called Mad Money. Okay? Dude, Jim Cramer is literally a vessel for all of the hedge funds, so they can give him information and say, hey, bud, I want you to go ahead and I want you to pass this down onto the public and get that stock price down. And then I'll go ahead and buy some of your own whatever the hell he offers. Okay? That's literally what he's doing. Who do you think he's loyal to? He's not loyal to his fans. He's loyal to the people that he's worked with his whole life. Anywho.
And then you have a kind of a vicious cycle down.
Right.
And it's a pretty good game. And it can be played. You pay for a % or two.
Right, and then do you get long before Macworld and the expectation that the iPhone is going to be good? Right, and then you go back, flip to the long side.
Got to use the other side.
Interesting.
And there's a case where I would say the January 80 puts can be justified, because after I've knocked the stock down to 80, I can buy a lot of common. And then you play it right into Macworld, where they'll probably introduce the phone and Verizon's going to take it.
Okay. Well, maybe the fundamentals don't matter, but let's talk about the Fed
remember,
a little bit.
what
No, they do matter in the long run. And then all of a sudden, once those puts go good, he makes the money, the stock drops below its intrinsic value. They go ahead and they buy the damn stock, and they profit back up to its intrinsic value, and rinse and repeat.
What Wall Street Confidential is not giving you the party line. Oh, here's the party line, by the way. I spoke to Apple. The phone, I hear the phones are good, and Verizon might take it. And as a matter of fact, the research in motion sellers, I don't think they know what they're talking about.
But you've been writing about the cell phone market. You think you don't want to be involved in that.
The problem with the cell phone market, frankly, is that these guys are all killing each other. Someone has to take a dive. Motorola and Nokia have to get in a room and just fix price. They've been.
Anywho, let's go ahead and do some questions here. Didn't Twitter ban all of Trump's supporters after the attack on the Senate? Says all it needs to any narrative against the mainstream is removed. It is clear only one narrative matters: the left. And that's what it looks like, right? And again, I'm in Tucson, and Tucson is fairly a Democratic area. And I was raised. Let me be clear: without Tucson, I would not be here right now. I would not be as successful. So the point of me saying that is, both sides are good, and I know you didn't say that left is bad. Both sides are beautiful. They have good in all of them. It's just something went wrong, and I can't like I'm only one person. I only have one brain. I don't know where America messed up. I need more education. I need to dig deeper. But when did America mess up like this? Like when what happened here? And the answer is obviously not a multiple choice. It's very complex, and hopefully as I mature and learn more, I'll be able to have an answer. But maybe I might not have an answer because that's just how it works, right? The people that did this, they just don't. I don't know. I need more research. I want to really quickly stop the screen share here, and I just wanted to share with you guys this here, okay? Just really quickly here, okay? And I want to explain to you this very quickly. This is our nonprofit here. This is in a low income area. It's predominantly a Hispanic community. Every Saturday in Mesa, Arizona, we have produce that gets shipped down from Mexico. We bring it there, and we have these market styles where the communities of this apartment complex and the communities from beyond can come in and take the produce. And let me just play the video here. Can take the produce and for 70 pounds, over 70 pounds of fresh produce. For how much? Sadly, it's not $9.99 like the Patreon. It's $15, okay? The reason why it's $15 because of the inflation and the semi-trucks, but $15 gets you so much vegetables. Now, listen, guys. I'm a first-generation American citizen, okay? I started out with nothing, okay? I was homeless at 15 years old, 15, and I was able to build this, okay, with nothing, with just a notebook dream and the University of Arizona that supported my mission in wanting to bridge the gaps between the haves and have-nots of society. And this was my 10-year project. If we've rescued millions of pounds. In fact, we have the money, 10% of this, we have a scholarship to help people in low income in college. And now we're doing the YouTube with the Discord, and hopefully any extra funds beyond the ones that's going to be reinvested within the Discord can go into building more projects like these. My query is imagine if we had the thirst of helping the poor like this at Wall Street. What do you guys think would happen? What do you guys think how do you think our society would change? If somehow we had this altruistic, culturally competent behavior in our financial markets. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's business. But I'm hoping maybe I can put some Hippocratic oath in the stock market and a little bit of faith, hope, and science, and sprinkle that into our community here, and maybe we might be able to make it happen and democratize financial information. So the lives that we do touch can make money, but make money in the right way. So let's go through some questions here. Why do many of the richest people in the country that leverage the free enterprise system when they had nothing or very little become successful and now push socialist agendas and ideologies? Yeah, because a good one, I don't know, you may have McGruff, right? You may have heard this. I believe one of the Saudi Arabian princes or the Saudi Arabian funds was like, hey, Elon, your price target is definitely below the intrinsic value. X, Y, and Z. I mean, why do these people have an influence on our financial markets? And it shows you because they have money. And why do they push these socialist agendas and ideologies? I just think because in each and every one, this is me speculating. I just think in each and every one of our hearts, I mean, I think Trump has said this too. Donald Trump has said this. We're suckers. That's what we. I know that sounds terrible, but we're suckers. That's what we. The whole dumb money and smart money. If you were to, we're dumb money, right? We're suckers, right? We don't know a lot, and we believe in a pipeline dream. We wish we want to help the poor. We want to help everybody, and we're suckers for that. And we would take this agenda to the extreme, to a point where it would actually benefit that ultra elite of that one group, which is hurting the ultra elite on the other group, almost like a hedge fund attacking another hedge fund. And it's just a cycle of war, and it's a pendulum swing. We went far left, and now in November 2022, we're going to go extremely far right, and people are going to vote out the Democratic Party. You watch. It is going to be a big red wave. But guess what? Any extreme on the other side is saying it's the same thing. Life is about yin and yang. You need to have a little good and bad in you. That's just life. You become too far extreme, you become the other person that you despise. That's reality. And that took me a long time to understand. Thank you, question, everything for the audio. Do you think the inflation of the stock will decentralize the effect on the economy? See that it's a very tough question because inflation is starting to look a little transitory in terms of, I know you're going to call me crazy, transitory. Lumber prices are going down with the Federal Reserve increasing 50 basis point hikes. You have the housing market starting to cool off. People are starting to reduce their prices. Interest rates for the housing is 6%. A $500,000 mortgage is getting you $3,000, $3,200 a monthly mortgage. Arizona's median income is $57,000. What does that leave people? $1,700. Let's assume they're not going to get taxed. This is easy, so I can do the math easy. Well, they have at least no more than $1,700 left. What is $1,700 going to do for them? Huh? They have gas prices they need to do. So obviously, I think we are going to head to a recession. I do believe it'll be short-lived. I believe the recession will happen near the end of 2022, in the beginning of 2023. American people they're struggling right now, guys, which is why we have this food program here. I mean, you know how much expensive groceries are now? I was speaking to my beloved community members here, my Hispanic community, my hearts here, the people I fight for every day. They're telling me now that Food City is, more expensive than fries. And that hurts me. I mean, these people here, they're struggling, and my heart goes out to them, and it hurts. So I do believe it is going to affect the economy, but we're not going to. We're going to continue this. Honestly, for as long as Michelle and I live, this will continue going. Okay. Have you seen the interview with Cramer in 2008? Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, when he talks about Bear Stearns. Oh yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll rebound. Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll go ahead and rebound and yeah, just buy the dip, right? And then Bear Stearns gets. We'll pull up that video. He hates that video. We'll pull up that video. He starts screaming and attacking Bear Stearns. Essentially, bankrupt, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. He looked broke. Oh yeah, he got broken down. Absolutely. The stock market is a vehicle for transferring wealth from the inpatient to the patient. Absolutely. Well, Warren Buffett. I was about to say Will Smith. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Or Charles Munger, one of them. I don't know why boomers follow. Okay, yeah, I don't know either. I honestly don't know. Cramer has been taken over. Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He is proud of his fraud, and much worse is going. Oh, absolutely. And we don't know. By the time we know, it's too late. You're either lucky you passed on the bag, or right, or you're stuck holding it. justifying fraud by highlighting others' fraud. The interviewer can't believe how Cramer is proud of his money. I know, yeah, I think the interviewer was just shocked at that point. That's why he wasn't laughing. He was like, you know, and I'm happy whoever recorded this posting this, because the people need to know. And, you know, honestly, I'm curious, how many views does this even have? Yeah, only 200,000 views, guys. That's sad. 200,000 views? That's nothing. If you could put that in the population. What was that? It's less than 1%, honestly. Not even. Okay, so it is the lurch from the left to the right every 4 years, a divide and a conquer strategy where bankers and elites continue to grow their wealth, stealing from the least able to afford it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, you come down here in Mesa in a beautiful Hispanic community here, and you will feel more welcome than if you're at the richest area on Beverly Hills or the Scottsdale and all that. You'll feel more welcomed here than you'll ever feel your whole life, right? You know, J. Cole said it better. J. Cole's a rapper. I'm more inclined. I like rap. You know, it spoke to me when I had nothing. He said being broke is better, right? And he talked about how it doesn't matter about how big your house is, how big all that. It matters about, you know, do the people in there love you dearly? And yeah, I mean, you know, this is a stock market channel, but I always try to drop some things that I've seen, because it's not too often that you see someone who went from homelessness to medical school to soon will become a neurosurgeon to creating a YouTube stocks and all these things, and who knows a lot of wealthy people who came from nothing as well in the real estate arena. And it's not too often this happens, and you see both sides. So I think the side that has the least is the most happy in a way, because they're still surviving, which is not fair because they don't experience the beauty that they deserve, because they're part of Mother Earth, the beautiful waterfalls and all the things, that the oceans around the world that they might not see because it's a lot of money to go there. Anyhow. Oh yeah, don't talk politics or YouTube will flag your videos. Yeah, honestly, it's that'll be you know, that's terrible. Yeah, and if they do, then I guess we have to stop, unfortunately. But you know, you have to say something, because you know, Nancy Pelosi's getting me. I don't agree with her at all because of the whole insider thing. She's been doing Visa IPO. Look at Visa IPO back in 2004 or 2005. But a lot of these people that have been in government, there is one thing though that I do like about her, is that she's been in government. I don't know if that's a good or bad, but she knows how the government works. The problem is she's getting old, and President Biden is getting old, and I just don't think our society, we've been trained enough to sufficiently run a country and to fix the mistakes of our elders. So it's going to be tough. They're all flirting with, you know, dementia or earlier, you know, just memory cognitive decline. And I just, I'm very fearful for the country as a whole. And that's why we have to push education, because, you know. All right. How do you typically differentiate smart versus dumb money on a stock? Like, are there any common indicators you'd see? Absolutely. So if you look at indicators that we've talked about in the past, let me see if I can pull them up here. Give me one moment here. Let me click on this PowerPoint slide here. Yeah, here. So if you look at this PowerPoint slide, and unfortunately, these indicators cost a lot of money. In fact, a former hedge fund who was a former hedge fund makes this data where you know, you have to pay for it. But essentially, here's smart money in blue and here's dumb money. In fact, let me see if I can, that kind of helps. You zoom in. Here's smart money and here's dumb money. And you can see, like, when the stock was down here, dumb money was selling, but smart money, as it's higher, was buying. you could see that they were buying the shares here while they were selling. So essentially, you know how February and March, a lot of the stocks dropped heavy. And then all of a sudden, they started buying, playing their tricks, increasing the share price. Retail came in predictably, and they slowly decreased their buying. And right now, we got to look at more data. So there's that. There's other indicators as well. The banks say saving rates for retail are at a very high levels now. So yes, we talked about this here, particularly here. One moment. I try to give you guys all the information that I could that is needed to understand. So here's the personal savings rate for you know, at least of February 2022. So it's 2 months old. It takes it's already backlogged by a month, but we're at approximately $2.6 trillion. We're at all-time highs from all the money printing. And all this money is being waited to be deployed in the stock market, right? So yes, no, that is true. However, the retail investors that came in 2020, 2021, of course, 2021, they've been unfortunately gutted, right? That was the mission of these hedges, was to hurt them, was to steal their money, take their money, and drop their confidence. And you feel me? So, yeah. All right. Unfortunately, there is a fine line between helping and hurting the poor. Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man how exactly. Which is why we created Owl Stock Trades, this platform, the Mastering Stock Market course, in our Discord channel, where we up here, where we have all this data. And unfortunately, as the people in here join, some of them are offline right now. As the people here join, they see that this is a very big sandwich to eat. There's a lot of data here, and there's a lot of things that you need to, unfortunately, go through and learn. There's a learning curve, and that's what we try to do, especially with the intrinsic value calculation that we have at the Mastering Stock Market course. It's very, and here's the insider tradings from the Senate and the House. I'm just not gonna lie, guys. Seeing these profits, seeing people constantly talk about profits, how they made $4,000 in 1 week here, and all these things just makes me happy. In fact, here we had our first membership testimony. Where did I go here? Our first membership testimonial here, and he said, "I can say without this data being provided at $9.99, I would not be up $3,000 right now over the last month because the market is rough and unpredictable." So, you know, this is what makes me happy. This is, you know, being able. So yeah, so I'm definitely trying to do that. Not to just feed people what stocks to buy. Like, they have it here. They search, they learn, put commands in, and they're learning. They put all these things in, and it spits out the information. And we're democratizing financial information, which would normally cost them more money, and try to look at dark pool data, such as this here. Look at dark pool data to see if there's any big block trades happening, and what are the most block positive bullish trades on the green, and the most red ones here, bear, and try to, unfortunately, figure out the tricks that these people do. Yeah, so that's definitely the goal. I appreciate your comment, and honestly, man, it's you know, I do believe America in all of its. If you look at America as a whole, the world, but just here in America, because I've seen America. I've went from here to Minnesota, and I've driven, and I stopped in every state, you know, to get gas. On the way up, it was a lot easier. On the way down, it was heavy because the prices. I spoken to a woman janitor in Iowa. I've been down to Kansas. I've spoken to people in different parts in Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, and I've seen amazing people. We have beautiful, beautiful, hardworking people here, and it just beautiful people. So you just got to help them, right? I believe a physician's job is more than ever inside the clinic. I think we gotta start healing. We got to start figuring this all this manipulation out, and because in order to help and heal the social determinants of health, we need to understand financial markets. We need to do that. So, absolutely. And unfortunately, his life was short, and his brother's life was short as well. Look what they did. No, I don't say look, but look what happened. Right? The candles that burn the brightest, they tend to, burn too fast, unfortunately. So, but you have to decentralize, right? Absolutely, and that's the whole scarcity of the whole decentralize. I do support it. I used to not support it, but I do support it in a way that's regulated. But yeah. Interesting, someone said on Reddit that the Fed can only raise 25 basis points 4 more times before they threaten the stability of the whole system. It's true. It's true. You would cause a heavy recession if they raise too much right now. It would cause a heavy recession. Absolutely. I agree. I agree with that completely. I agree. The whole mortgage, it'll just destroy everything. People will just start selling their houses, and everyone just starts selling. So we can go on and hear this guy blabber away, but the conclusion is, let's. What is stock? What is stock? Like what is a stock? Is that what you mean? Comment down below again. Just the takeaway from all this, guys. Like a piece of secure. I'll explain right now. The takeaway from this, guys, very simply put, is the stock market's manipulated. We know that. We know that it's not going to change. We know that the political system is so manipulated that in order to change such system, we would need term limits. We would need to ban insider trading, all trading altogether. No person representing the American people should participate in the stock market. And if they don't like that, then they should not represent the American people, like Nancy Pelosi. Like if she doesn't like that, then you don't. It is a privilege and honor to represent the American people. And if you can't give away the stock market, then you don't deserve to represent the hardworking people of Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, all the beautiful places that I've seen. Right? You don't deserve them. So yeah. The best way to bypass this whole dilemma is do fundamental analysis. If you have the data, we provide the data at our Discord at our Discord. But remember, I'm constantly monitoring this data, and if it so happens that the system starts changing again and shifting under our feet, we will find other avenues to make money. But there's one constant in all of this, is that fundamental analysis will never change. Evaluating a business for what it's worth will never change, because that is real. That is something you can put a pulse on. Are there tricks that businesses can use to act like they have money? Of course, and we'll shatter that for you guys, and we'll show you how they do that with the whole earnings per share, with the whole dividends and all the games that they play. Okay, so yeah. So what is a stock? So yeah, that's a great question. So pretend. Easy. So pretend I have an ice cream store, okay? And I built an amazing ice cream store. I love this ice cream store. I put my heart and soul in it, right? and I want to raise some capital. I want to franchise this ice cream store. But but if you're a stock in an ice cream store, you've already franchised. But let's make it simple. What I can do is I can break down. Let's say my ice cream store is worth $1 million. It's a good ice cream store. I mean, it's right next to the LA Lake, the Staples Center. The SoFi Stadium, right? It's always going to be the Staples Center for me. But it's a $1 million ice cream shop, okay? And let's put $1 million. And let's say right now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let's say I want to give out shares. So I take my ice cream store and I cut it like a pizza. I cut it in different quantities, and I cut, let's say, 10,000 pieces. So how much would my share price be? Well, it's simple. You take 10,000, it would be $100. $1 million divided by 10,000 pieces is $100. So my stock would be $100 a piece. Okay. So I tell now let's say you bought 100 of my shares, and let's say the other person over there bought 300 or 400. Anywho, you have multiple people now buying these shares, but guess what? Now that I have this money, let's say I still own my 10-15% of my business. It's my business. I want to own 10%. I want to own some, right? Whoever owns more than 10% has to report to the SEC. That's important in any business. So there's those regulations too. And you can track that through the 13Fs and all these other things, filings that you can do, which we'll go into in our Mastering Stock Market course. But if we can go ahead and expand, we start going into New Mexico, Arizona, we go into Florida, and now I'm no longer I'm bringing in $2, $3, $4 million. Well, guess what? Now my stock price just doubles, right? If I'm $3 million, $3 million divided by 10,000 shares, now my stock price is $300. Let's say I want to dilute. I want to give out more shares so I can get more funding, right? Then the stock price stock price goes down, and I can expand more growth, right? Which is what Clover's doing. But the thing is, these shares need to be traded somewhere. They're traded in New York, either on the New York Stock Exchange, right? You got the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, which is the collection of all the 500 companies. So that is and it's easier. I wish I had my tablet. I can write it on right now and show you how it works. But a best example to give you is when investors go wrong in the market, okay? So let's say I have a business. Oh, let's put it this way. I have an iPhone, and I want to sell you my iPhone for $10,000. Would you buy it? It's a normal iPhone. It's not made out of gold or anything. It's just it's a normal iPhone. Would you buy my iPhone for $10,000? The answer is no. You would not. But it's overvalued. But let's say if I take my $10,000 iPhone and I divide it by 1 million shares. Let's say I say, you know what? I will give you a piece of my business. I own this business, and I will give it to you for 1 penny. And you can buy 500 shares at a penny, right? You'll be like, hell yeah, let's buy that, right? It's cheap. And that's the mistake of what people do. Let's say my business was, let's say I fix phones or whatnot, or what I have a phone business. I'm trying to create a new phone. I'm trying to create the new iPhone. I'm going to call it Mullen phone, right? This Mullen phone is going to be the best phone ever. I don't make any revenue. I don't make any money. I'm going to sell this Mullen phone in 2 years from now. Okay. I'm going somewhere with this, right? The Mullen Automotive, right? If I'm not making any money, take all my shares, right, and multiply them by the stock price. All the shares that I've given to people, multiply by the stock price, you would get the market capitalization, right? And let's look at Mullen right now as an example. Mullen makes no money. Guess look how much it's worth. $500,000. Now you're telling me, would you buy my business right now? You go out and then let's meet up on Craigslist, right? Would you buy my business for $500,000 if I don't make $1? The answer is no. You would never do that. And in fact, it was not even at $500,000 at one point. At one point, it was at freaking more than that. It was at a couple billion. Just recently, over $1 billion, right? The question you have to ask yourself is, how can you avoid these problems? Let me show you the here's the stock. Here's the market capitalization here. $500,000, right? This is for Mullen. They don't make any money, right? The question that you ask yourself is, how can I avoid this? Well, you got to look at SEC filings, Security and Exchange Commission. Now, there's 2 ways you can learn how to do this. You go on YouTube and you do it the long way. It took me 10 years to learn all this through all this, experience. Or we created this course, the Mastering Stock Market, it's in beta access. It includes lifetime access to all stock alerts. Or you can just go for an MBA. And honestly, I don't even think they teach the stock market in the MBA. You'll learn the numbers, but that's exactly how it works, the breakdown of it. But here's the thing. In order to, like, for example, let me show you this. How do I know Clover Health is a winner? It's a lot more than what I'm going to show you because it's complex, as you've seen in my past videos. But look at this. You have a company growing at 121%. Their EPS is doing well. Net profit margins aren't doing better. Net income's still bad. But again, they said they're going to be profitable by next year, 2023. I think 2024. Again, I'm more conservative than, I guess, the CEO, which is good. That's how I like it, right? I don't want a CEO that's optimistic. I want a CEO that's pessimistic, right? That's how it is in business. The CEO's job is not to be cherry and fruitful. The CEO's job is to find how things go wrong and when things go wrong and look for the bad. It's actually not fun to be a CEO. It's actually very annoying, but it's doing well. It's doing well, and so there it is. So we're gonna go more into it, but I wanted to kind of give you a kind of an in-depth, but kind of a basic answer. It's better to draw. It's better to draw for sure. Added, so we're going to go ahead and call this. We're going to finish the last questions here. Added to all my most beaten down stocks on Thursday, a potential 50 to 100 basis points hike. That terrible CPI barely moved the market. Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that in 2 videos ago from the last month or something, the beginning of the month. We talked about how this might be a scare in the market. Who knows? The market might drop next week, but I don't know. It's held up pretty well. But definitely these stocks definitely like Clover. Clover has within 5 days, 5% drop, 4.31. Barely. Guys, the bottom must be close, absolutely. And then the narrative, the big wigs, the hedge funds are gonna flip the narrative, and it's time that stocks only go up. And then you get people coming out of the woodworks, and you're gonna get, unfortunately, new suckers. I hate using that word, to essentially are the future bag holders, and the cycle rinses and repeats. So yes, UVXY, from my understanding, is this the inverse? I always get them twisted. Is that the inverse where it pretty much does opposite of the market? So I used to do those. In fact, I was so this is shorting, exactly. Yeah. So this goes up when the market goes down. I actually was a prominent trader of the TVIX. For all of you that don't know TVIX was a beautiful one that ran up over $500 to $700 or whatever dollars. It was a beautiful, beautiful run when the coronavirus crash happened. But I don't have that much time. Yeah, the inverse. Yeah. So I mean, if you're a full-time trader, yeah, if you understand the technicals, of course. But for me, because I am going in healthcare, I have now shifted. I built the software and I'm building all that to help people with do that, right? I mean, I want everyone to do whatever you want to swing trade, come on over. You want to day trade, let's go. You want to short, and you want to do the shorts and make money on that, come over. But personally, for me, based off of my I just, I'm going to be in the operating room. I can't do those things. I'm going to transition to a long-term holder. But I've been doing this whole day trade for a long time. So it's not, it's kind of, if I do retire, for me, it's like going into a non-rigged casino if you have the right data to help you. If that makes sense. If people that are on the Discord, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of data that helps you make money, and just it's sad that there's someone out there that doesn't have the data. They just buy a stock. They work their whole freaking week with a paycheck. They put their paycheck in a stock, and they don't even know it's manipulated. And it's like you work for the rich, and the rich take your money, and they want you to work. It's just a constant cycle of terrible. But I want to show you guys something else too here. I want to show you. It's very funny, this noise here in the background. But just a quick takeaway from this. I mean, for someone who's first generation who did this, it's just crazy. Imagine if someone who has more resources, what they can do. So that's why I like YouTube. Definitely democratizes information a lot more rapidly. So, all right. So I want to just show you this and read this to you really quick. And you're extremely welcome, my friend. Let's go ahead real quickly here. And yes, so let me just put this link down below for people that are watching. If you don't have Webull, there's the link down below. Please, please, please sign up here. They just extended this. They were supposed to end this in March, the end of March, but they extended it to the end of April, which is April 30th. So please sign up. They usually give out 2 stocks. So you can't see it. They usually give out 2 stocks. Now they're giving out 5. And these stocks can be valued up to $9,600. Dude, that'll pay for gas for 3 years or get you whatever you need. You can, it's just it's free money. So definitely use that link down below, but you have to deposit. Here's the catch. You got to deposit at least a penny. Oh my God. What a catch. 1 penny. That's it. You got to deposit 1 penny and you got your 5 free stocks, right? I think that, you sign up, they give you 2, and you deposit a penny, they give you 3. That's how it works. But definitely do it now. It does take some time to verify your bank. Yeah. Then once you do that, then they give you the deposit the penny, and then they'll give you the stocks. So definitely take advantage of that. But that's not just what I wanted to show you here. I always forget about Webull. I always need to mention it because it's free money. But I want you to take a look at this, okay? And before people start saying, "Oh, I'm going to boycott Apple, Peas, and all these things," every company's doing this. But just to show you, to preface it, I said here, this is why we created Al Stock Trades. Education is the key out of poverty. Please read both of the documents. Okay, so let's go ahead and read them. So this was a leaked email. This email was not supposed to be sent to just everybody to watch. So check this out. He said, everyone, so look at team. Everyone has heard that gas prices continue to rise. The advantage this has for us, the advantage is that it will increase application flow and has the potential to lower our average can't see the full picture. Anywho, it said it has the potential of lowering the average wage. So essentially we can pay people less money, right? Because we'll have more competition, supply and demand. We'll have more supply. The demand of paying people a livable wage goes down. All right. It gets worse. Watch this. Most of our employee base and potential employee base live paycheck to paycheck. Any increase in gas prices cuts into their disposable income. As inflation continues to climb and gas prices continue to go up, that means more hours employees will need to work to maintain the current level of living. We are no longer competing with the government when it comes to hiring. Stimulus money is no more. Supplemental unemployment is no more. This benefits us, right? It's benefit us that they live paycheck to paycheck, right? And things are going up like gas prices. This benefits us as prices rise. People who we relying on unemployment, so the people who are relying on unemployment money simply will have less money to spend. It will force people back into the workforce, back into clocking in, right? Furthermore, other competitors, especially, those small businesses, mom and pop companies or smaller businesses will have to either raise prices, cut employees, or pay employees less hourly to hit their profit margins. Some businesses will not be able to hold on. This is going to drive more potential employees into the hiring pool. We all competed to hire out all the limited application pool, and there was a wage war. We saw businesses hiring team members at $18 to $20 an hour. They will no longer be able to afford to do this. Trucking is the backbone of America, and the fuel cost. Anywho, they go into it. Okay, guys, listen. Okay. Corporate America, this is how they think. Okay, this is how it works. It's all about profit margins. Okay, it's all about surviving, a business surviving. So imagine the stress this is going to place on the poor on top of all this. Right? They're going to be paid less now. And then guess what? Prices will remain the same. You think after inflation is done, oh yeah, since inflation is over, let's go ahead and decrease prices because that's the right thing to do. They're not going to do that, guys. They're not going to do the right thing. They're going to keep prices up there. People are buying. But since gas prices are down and all that, and now we have a lot of people wanting to work, boy, we can pay them less. The answer is education. That's the answer, guys. Educate yourself on how properties work. Educate yourself on 1031 exchanges. Understand how the financial markets move. Understand macroeconomics. Understand how to evaluate the intrinsic value of a stock. Understand how to go into a neighborhood where houses are worth, let's say, $500,000, 700,000, 800,000, whatever. Get the most ugliest house there, remodel it, do like the lowest loan rating, even an FHA with a 3.5% down with the PMI, remodel it, get another appraisal, get it, and then refinance, and there it is. Boom, you just made money. Learn how to play the system. Get your real estate license. Learn the finance. Like I'm telling you, that's how you get out of the grind. Whatever you have, talent, skill, try to essentially create some form of a business. But most importantly, stay true to yourself and don't like become greedy like these suds of what, right? Anywho, this was more of a commentary video. Just again, I'm sure that you all have been feeling this. I'm sure you all have been saying this under your breath. I feel like we're more connected than what we think. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. I still got to do part 2 of Clover. That's on the checklist. And I love each and every one of you guys. You have no idea. Please be healthy, work out, eat healthy. And I need to tell myself that too. Your health is all you have. You only have one body in this lifetime. Please take care of it. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. God bless.